If you're new to my channel, my name is Jaylene. Welcome. Thank you all for watching. So this video is about my son's birth story. If you just were looking at birth stories because you are pregnant, congratulations. And if you are just looking at this video because you want to hear about my son's birth story, thank you so much. Thank you for your support. Yes, I am in his room. No, he is not in this room. Hold on, let me turn on the light. Okay. Sorry, I had to turn on the light to get better lighting in here. But anyways, no, he's not in here. He is sleeping in my room. We are having a hard time getting him back to sleeping in his crib. So I have to check on him on and off. So if this video seems like it's kind of weird and kind of off, it's because I'm pausing it or I'm gonna check on him and then come right back and I have to edit it out. So anyways, I'm sorry, I had to go. Okay, so I now looking back at my video, I'm gonna go ahead and put this in the beginning. So this video, I'm sitting down. I feel like I have to say this video without any distractions, try to remember how everything went. So it's just me talking, so you can literally just listen to what I'm saying and not look at the video at all. Or if you are the type of person that looks at these videos in the restroom, kind of weird, but whatever tickles your peach, go ahead and do it. So pretty much if you're not doing anything really distracting, you can just listen to this video. It's a pretty easygoing video. That's all I have to say about that. Yes, my son's birth story. Where to begin? So when I found out I was pregnant, we went to my doctor, and my mom took me to my doctor because I was sick previously. Before then, I had a bad cold, and you weren't supposed to take that medication when you're pregnant, and I just found out that I was pregnant. So yeah, but he's fine. And he was like, I remember he asked, what's so special about June 15th? And my mom was like, well, my birthday is June 13th. And he was like, oh, well, maybe you'll have your baby June 13th. And we were like, so it's true, I'm pregnant. Because at first I took a urine test, it didn't pass. And then it said it was negative. And then they did blood work, and then he found out I really was pregnant. And we found out at home on our 1-month wedding anniversary with a pregnancy test, a home one from Clear Blue. So sorry if I'm giving too much details. I don't know how much details you guys want to know. But anyways, letting it all out. And yes, I'm going to try to keep it TMI as far as the actual birth story. So yes, then my husband, he's in the Army. So then when I went to the military hospital, they said, so they were switching around his due date. They were saying first June 17th, then June 19th, then June 17th again, and they kept at June 17th. I went to the doctor June 10th, and then for the last prenatal visit, and they swept my membranes. They say it's really painful to do that, but it speeds up the process to go into labor. Well, it didn't hurt me, and it didn't speed up my process, so I'm not too sure what happened there. I could not tell you. So then I was walking. I was taking red leaf tea, something like that. And the only thing I didn't do was, like, they say to take oil, like swallow a bunch of olive oil or something. I'm not too sure. I didn't do that, but I tried to go into labor since when we hit my son's expected due date. That week, my mom took that week of vacation off. So, like, I was walking a whole ton, and I was not going into labor. So, yeah, and my husband was deployed, in case you're new to this channel and didn't know that. My husband was deployed. He unfortunately couldn't come to the birth of our son, and so my mom was there for me my whole family was there for me. I had a very good support group, and a lot of friends. So I was really blessed. But anyway, so I was trying to go into labor on time because my mom took that week off to be there for me and for my son, and I did not go into labor. They had me go into the hospital to get checked, make sure the baby's okay. They were kind of concerned during one visit. His heart rate was going lower. They said there wasn't enough fluids or something in me. I don't know. They had a cervix exam every time. I always had a cervix exam. So, and then some people told me, oh, don't worry, everything's fine, Jaylene, and it's normal for their heart rate to go slower before going into labor, right, like close to the due date, which I found out is not true. But my son's fine. So everything at the end was okay. And then they had me, so then I was freaking out, and they're like, always make sure there's movement, like their baby's moving. But he was growing so much, and I'm very petite, so there's so much where he can move. Like, he was kind of limited in moving. And even one midwife was like, whoa, that is all baby. You are so petite carrying a baby, like it's all baby in your stomach area. So he couldn't really move that much, but I was making sure he was moving. And then they checked him again when we went back to the hospital, and then they're like, you're fine. I was like, look, we've been waiting, we've been doing everything we can to go into labor, or everything I can to go into labor, and it's not happening. Is there a way we can just schedule for me to be induced? And they're supposed to induce me, but they didn't, like the first checkup, and they didn't have enough. I think they didn't have enough employees at the hospital, enough midwives or something. I'm not sure, but they couldn't. So they were like, yes, we'll schedule it for Saturday. They scheduled it for Saturday, and they said, if you go into labor before then, have all these contractions and whatnot, just come on back. Well, I kept walking and walking and walking. Sure enough, anxiously waiting on Friday. So my last visit was Thursday. Then on Friday, walking, being super anxious. They were like, don't walk too much. You need to rest because you're going to get induced and blah, blah, blah. So it was tough. I didn't sleep. I felt like I didn't sleep all night, Friday night. And then they were supposed to call me for a certain time to go to the hospital. And this was a military hospital. This is William Beaumont. So then I called them Saturday morning, and they're coming at 1. So I came in, and then they didn't have me go into triage. We went straight they put me in a room right away. They didn't even check. They checked baby. They checked my son in there. They did a whole cervix exam, and they checked to see what, to induce labor, which one they should use. There's, I guess, more than Pitocin. At the time, I thought it was just Pitocin. They're just gonna shoot me with Pitocin, and that's it. And when I went in, I was 2 centimeters dilated. They hooked me into a chart to check my contractions, and the midwife was like, "You're not feeling these contractions," and like it was like crazy. It looks like a heart rate kind of thing, and it shows the length and how hard the contractions are. And I was like it was up and down. So I was like, no, I'm not feeling that. And she's like, okay, interesting. Normally you can feel these. And I had Hicks contractions, I think 2 weeks before the due date, and I thought I was going into labor, and I was even kind of bleeding and stuff, and they were like, no, you're not going to labor yet. Those are Hicks. It's fine. And your cervix is kind of just getting ready, and that's why there's a little bit of blood. It's not like very alarming. So when I went through that, a lot of people told me, you're gonna feel the difference from Hicks and the real contractions, the real deal. You will feel it. So this whole time I was waiting for something like a worse, more severe pain than the Hicks contractions, and that wasn't happening. And then when the nurse mentioned that, then I kind of felt like a little pressure, like somebody was in my stomach and just pushing a little bit, like not even discomfort, just a little push every time I had a contraction, and that was what I was feeling at that time. Of course, the contractions get worse and they're more painful and yada yada yada. So, but during that time, that's how it felt. So then they had an OB come in, and she told me, I think you're a perfect candidate to have a Foley. I think it's called a Foley balloon. She's like, you're the perfect candidate for a Foley balloon. And what they do is it's kind of like a cervix exam, but during that they insert a balloon in your cervix and they expand it in you, and it's supposed to make you more dilated. So we went ahead and did that, and it was a little bit discomforting, but it wasn't painful. It was just discomfort. And so when they inserted it in, it was painful. Like, that was painful. It was like, I guess, discomfort when you think of it. Like, now thinking back on it, it's like discomfort, kind of painful. And then it's just a little bit discomfort while it's in there. And then when they take it out, they like deflate it and then take it out. And that's how it felt like. It felt like they deflated the balloon a little bit and then they took it out. So, and as your cervix expands, as you dilate more, it deflates on its own. And then they deflate a little bit and they pull it out. And so that was kind of discomforting as well, but it's like, when they take it out, it's super quick. It's like 3 seconds, if that. It's just like deflate and they take it out. So it's really not that bad. It sounds worse than it actually was. And then when they had me like lay on my side, and the good thing about this was it wasn't due to medication, so I wasn't feeling the pain of the contractions, and so I wasn't on any kind of pain meds. I didn't have epidural or anything, and so they had me lay on my side, and then like I felt like if I closed my legs, it was gonna like a bunch of air was gonna explode in me, and that's what I mean by discomfort. It just kind of felt strange, and so I kind of kept my legs open, but then I was kind of tiring, and then the nurses were like, it's fine, you can close your legs. And I was like, no, it feels kind of like weird when I close my legs, but it was fine. And then so it took a few hours, I think, till like, it was about dinner, like 7 o'clock. They took it out of me because I was 6 centimeters dilated then. And during that time, the anesthesiologist came in and checked up on me and was like, do you need anything? Do you need any pain medication? Do you need an epidural? And I have mild scoliosis, and I don't know if it's because I took physical therapy before being pregnant. When I found out I had scoliosis, I did take physical therapy, and it helped a lot. And so during my pregnancy, though, my scoliosis gradually got worse. So it was mild, and then it kind of got worse during my pregnancy. I'm not saying that happens to everybody with scoliosis, but that's what was my case. And I was like, well, I feel fine right now, but if I do need an epidural, can you perform an epidural, because I do have scoliosis. And so he had me like do the whole thing where you bend forward, and like he checked it in my spine and stuff, and he's like, yeah, I can definitely do it. I was like, okay, so like later on, if I need it, you're okay with doing that? And he said yes. And then I said, okay, so if I, like, when is it not, like, it's not possible to have an epidural anymore? And he said 9 centimeters dilated for him. He says it changes, it varies with anesthesiologists. For me, it's 9. For most of them, it's 9. I think 1 is like he would want you to do it now. So I was like, okay. So then I was like, no, I'll wait. And so then I waited, and that's also why I couldn't do C-section. Well, they recommended me to try not to do C-section. It's a major surgery. I understand that. Like, that would have freaked me out. If I needed to have C-section for my son, then that's fine. I would have sucked it up. But when you have scoliosis, you depend on your core to keep your posture rather than your back. And so when you have an incision in your core area, it's kind of hard to depend on your core. So the healing process would be more severe for me, because I would have to heal in my incision, and then that takes a while, and then work on my core, and then my spine will get better. So it was just a lot longer. It will be a longer period of time to even heal with the scoliosis aspect, not just the incision. So that's why they suggested for me to not do C-section, and I was kind of okay with that. I know it's a major surgery. I just, when I think about it, I'll put it this way. My mom and my sister both had C-sections, and they are both the very strongest women that I know. So when I think of people that can handle C-section, I'm like, their strength is way up here, and mine is like 10 feet below the ground. So it just, that kind of freaked me out with C-section. But if you can do it, good for you. So anyways, where was I? So yeah, so then that's what the anesthesiologist said. I said, okay. And then they said, you're 6 centimeters, just take out the balloon, and then you can walk around the halls and have dinner. And I did that. My in-laws came to see me. They left, and then they decided to do Pitocin. So, whoa, that medicine, it is painful. It is bad. It's really painful, and like I kept like cringing up and like tightening up in there, like just relax, remember to breathe. If you're a type of person that like goes when you're upset, that's actually kind of a good thing. Or when you're in pain, you know, you just take a deep breath like that. That's actually kind of good. They tell you to, you know, remember to breathe and try to relax. And every contraction you feel, like try to breathe. And then they're like, okay, do you want the epidural? And I was like, fine, try to do the epidural. They're like, because the pain's gonna get worse from here on out. I was like, okay, fine, just, you know, I guess we'll try it. So then it was a different anesthesiologist than the first one. He couldn't do it. He looked at my back and he was like, nope, no way, sorry. So then he had a co-worker, another anesthesiologist, come with him, and he tried, and he was like, I can't do this. So there I go, no epidural, and then the pain, sure enough, does get worse. I was like, okay, fine, you know, whatever. So then the pain gets worse, and my mom's there, and she's like feeling horrible for me, because she wishes she can take the pain away from me, and deal with the pain herself. Like, she's just like, she was with me the whole time. So she was there with me when I was admitted in to get induced, and then I went into labor, active labor, not till like, I want to say like 5 in the morning. She was with me the whole time. She pulled the all-nighter. So she was with me, and it was hard. And then, so towards the end, like I remember screaming, no. And so what it wasn't just the pain of the contraction. I felt like my body was pushing already. Like my son was already coming out, which I'm not too sure what was going on. So I was saying no, because I felt like I was, like they said I wasn't 10 centimeters dilated yet, and I didn't want the pushing to start and then something to happen. So I was like, no. And so I don't know if it was a Pitocin, I don't know what it was, but I remember saying that, and I remember nurses coming in, and then they're like, well, it's a party in here, like trying to see why she's saying no, like, you know, what's going on with her. And so that's how it felt for me, though. And so then finally the OB comes in, and she does a cervix exam, and she's like, okay, you're 10 centimeters dilated, so you're going to start pushing, and I'm going to have I think there was a nurse and a midwife. Well, anyway, so they were like, okay, they're going to position you in a way where you can start pushing. And how I was like, I was kind of like at a slant. My back was like kind of rested up. It was rested up against the bed. And then, you know, they had these things put out. Sorry, my son woke up. Okay, so Then they get me in the position and I start pushing. My mom's like on one side and then there's the nurse on the other side. And then so then I was pushing. Then how they had me do it was like you put your chin down and you, with each contraction, you push for a few seconds. I forget how long, but they count, and then you can breathe and rest. And they told me, since it's my first one, be prepared to push for like 3 to even 4 hours. So that's what I was thinking in my head. And then my mom was trying to get my husband on the phone on video, and they said you can video her, but like don't like record what's going on down there. So she's like, okay. So my husband was, was deployed. I know, you're waking up still, buddy. My husband was deployed, so like I had mentioned earlier, so she was trying to get him on video call, on FaceTime. So I was like, Mom, help me, don't like encourage me almost, I guess, instead of being on your phone trying to get him. Like, there's gonna be plenty of time until you get him on the phone and be here through video during the active labor. Well, 10 minutes later, and then the nurse says, I see hair. And my mom was like, you see hair? Oh, he has hair? And she's like, okay, I see black. So he's coming. And then 10 minutes later, and that was like a few minutes into the pushing, and then 10 minutes later, like the whole hospital staff is in the room, in the labor room, and is in the labor room and getting ready, and he came out. So I don't know, that was pretty simple. Like, so I was in labor trying to get to 10 centimeters. It took 20 hours, and then pushing him out took 10. I thought it was 20 minutes, but recently my mom told me, no, I was there. It was 10 minutes. Thankfully, he didn't have any complications. There was nothing wrong. I think they say that when it's a fast active labor, they can like break a collarbone and stuff. He didn't. They checked him and everything, and he was fine. And then that was pretty much it for his labor. I had more complications, not more. I'm the one that had all the complications, not my son. It was hard on me. I think I mentioned in my first video, I lost so much blood, and I did get lacerations, so because it was a fast active labor. So, but that healed just fine. I'm perfectly okay. He's perfectly okay. So if you're a new mom, it's gonna be a crazy ride regardless. So just enjoy it, because it goes fast and you can do it, and you're gonna be great. From when you're pregnant, you just do what's best for the baby. You stay healthy for the baby. You do what's best to be healthy for the baby. There's times where hormones get the best of you and you're just like overwhelmed, maybe a little bit sad, a little gloomy and stuff. That's okay. It's normal. Don't compare yourself to other mamas. Not any mama has it all put together. So don't compare yourself. Just enjoy your baby. Don't compare your baby to other babies. Every baby's unique, and just embrace yours, and it's gonna be great. It's the biggest blessing. So I'm gonna feed my baby. So I'm gonna let you go. Thank you for watching. Thank you for supporting me. Please give this video a thumbs up or thumbs down, and leave comments. We'd like to hear comments, questions, complaints. If you want to know, just leave in the comment box. If you want to know what I put in my diaper bag, if you want me to expand more on other various things as far as having a baby goes. It's still pretty fresh in my mind, and then I did journal a lot, so I can always look back at things. If you want me to post a video on which like Bible verses helped me. I just anything, whatever you can think of, just let me know, or shoot me a message. A lot of you guys are friends and family that watch. Thank you all so much for caring to see where we're at in life. But anyways, I'm gonna let you go. All right, God bless. Bye.